I didn't realize I was sitting with a Little League All-Star. Wow. I didn't even make it past T-ball. And he winds up and he punches me right in the gut.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And then the guy 2 seats over from me, barehands it.
It was amazing.
Welcome to the Banana Breakdown Podcast, the podcast that is for all fans of banana ball. We're your hosts, Brandon Brimley and Sammy Collier.
Or you can call me the life of the party.
And this podcast is going to be about banana ball. So the Savannah Bananas, the party animals, the FireFighters, and the Texas Tailgaters, as well as whatever teams come in the future.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Okay, so we wanted to start today. We actually were able to get to opening night of the 2025 World Tour.
It was amazing. It was quite the scene. We were in Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona, and it was a sellout crowd, of course, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and so we just wanted to talk about our journey here to discovering banana ball, talk about opening night, and then what you can expect from this podcast going forward.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it.
Perfect. So yeah, I guess first things, what was the most impressive thing you saw there on the field?
Honestly, it was watching each individual that was on the field always doing something entertaining. They always knew that someone was watching them, and so even if they weren't the spotlight on the field, they weren't pitching, they weren't batting, they're always, doing a little dance or doing something entertaining. My favorite thing to watch was honestly the umpire. He stole the show in the first base ump too, where we were sitting, we could really see him, and he's always doing a dance, or he would get distracted. That was really funny. He would be interacting with the crowd, and then he'd run back to the first base. It was just always something going on.
Yeah, that moment was hilarious. He was out right by us. Something, I can't remember what happened, but it was literally like the pitcher threw the ball. So if the batter had hit it, he wouldn't have been there to watch the play. And so he then turned around, saw it, and just booked back to first base all the way from right field.
Yeah, it's also just impressive that they do all of that, but it doesn't interfere with the game. They're so good at what they do that you can have confidence that they're going to be in position to make the right call too. So yeah. It's pretty cool.
And that's the most impressive thing we've seen with it is, to me, the fact that it's an actual competitive baseball game, banana ball game, is what makes it really, really cool. Because I've actually never been to a Harlem Globetrotter game, but I've seen the videos, and there was always something like, it's just rehearsed, you see the same thing every time, but then you go here and then you watch the live streams on YouTube, and it's different every single time.
Yeah, and you don't know who's gonna win, right? It's not the Washington Generals getting beat up by the Harlem Globetrotters. My party animals can beat your bananas, and hey, they've been pretty good this year.
Yeah, that was the saddest part of the night for sure. It was a good night until the end of the ninth inning.
Yeah, well, it was good for me all around.
But yeah, I guess to add into there, one of my favorite things that we saw during the game was just seeing the backflips. The fact that they can do these crazy acrobatics in the middle of a baseball game. Not just the center fielder doing a backflip, but there's a ball coming at him, and he can jump, catch it, and then land, and just move on with the night.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't even do a backflip at all. It's crazy. I don't know if I could even catch a pop fly. No, I probably could, but just not with the backflip.
But yeah, so let's go a little bit deeper into opening night. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was actually getting to meet and interact with the players, and specifically the owner, Jesse Cole. You might be able to see on my hat, I was actually fortunate enough to get some autographs from them, and it was so much fun. And one of the things that was really cool, I actually had read this book when I got into the Savannah Bananas, but I got it signed by the owner, Jesse Cole, and he was just really, really nice to everyone as they came by, definitely putting all of the fans first. And the experience that I had, I actually got to see him twice. So before the game, I went and got my hat signed, and then afterwards, I was trying to swing Sammy's hat to get signed, and he was standing there, and I was 2 people deep in the line, and it was after the game, they were all tired, they've been doing all this the whole day, and he gets the call of hey, we got to go do their Hey Baby dance. And so he starts to go, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I have to go. And then as he's walking away, almost see the cogs turn in his brain, and he turns back, and there were 2 little kids in front of me. He's like, can I get a picture with you guys? He signs something, takes their picture, and then he goes. And then he stops again in the exact same spot and comes back to me and is like, hey, can I just get a picture or something? And so we quickly got a picture, and it was so cool. And it was a really good opportunity of hey, this dude is he's tired. It's the end of the night. and he just wants to get one more fan. And that was something that was really cool to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't imagine that interaction happening with the NFL or NBA commissioner, right? You
Yeah.
know, it's really awesome how they really fans first is really the number one thing, and so everyone's having a good time. They want to see everyone happy, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. I guess we can start from the beginning of the game and kind of go through any experiences we had, and then jump into some more stuff about us and our experience with finding Banana Ball. But I guess another thing before the pregame, one of the cool things that I saw, to Sammy's point, when it's the pregame, everyone's doing something. So like the outfielders are out there, and they were actually tossing the ball to the kids, and then the kids were tossing it back. So they were playing a game of catch versus just like, I'm going to play with my center fielder, and then I'll throw one ball out to the kids. They were like hitting every kid, and it was really, really cool. And the other thing was the catcher, Bill Leroy, had a football. And I was shocked. That was just something, it's not that crazy, but like he was throwing a football into the stands, and it just caught me off guard. And that's probably the epitome of Banana Ball, is just doing stuff you've never seen on a baseball field and just catching you off guard.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that I loved during the game was how often players and even the refs and the mascots and everything would interact with fans, and even to the point of going into the stands.
Yeah.
You don't see that with other sports. They're just on the field, and that's it. You don't want to get too close, but they are always going up. They interacting with the fans, talking to them, doing interviews in the stands, stuff like that, and that's awesome. The kids love it.
Yeah. And then, one other thing that I saw during the game, I was really excited to see a lot of the trick plays. Like I mentioned, the backflips were super cool, and there actually were a lot of missed trick plays in this first game. But it was really cool to see that even when they would miss a trick play, the next time the ball came to them, they tried again. And so it was really cool seeing that as a fan. And then also it led to some cool moments where obviously every time the Bananas made a mistake on a trick play, it was a big bummer. But then and the party animals did, and they missed it first. It was like, yeah, thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think that adds so much variety to the game, right? You watch baseball, and you know that these guys, I mean, you watch the MLB, these guys are the best in the world, right? And so they're not gonna make a mistake in the outfield. But with these games, you add that element of surprise. You're always on the edge of your seat. You don't know what they're gonna do, and you also don't know if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And so that level of variety makes the game more entertaining. Even you watch baseball, and you get to the fifth inning, and sometimes it can just be a drag. You're just trying to get through it. But with this, it's always you never know what's going to happen. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean I've been to a ton of Diamondbacks games here in Arizona, and it's like you get to the sixth inning, you've already been there for 4 hours, and most of the people start leaving. And so it's really cool seeing the variety. And I do, the piece there for me is the fact that they sometimes miss. And it adds that, like you said, you're sitting on the edge of your seat, like, is this going to be a really cool play, or is it actually going to catch it? Like, it adds so much fun there.
And I think with what you said there, with people starting to leave around the sixth inning, I think with the Banana Ball rule of you score points by winning innings instead of just runs, right? And so you could have a sixth inning for a Diamondback game where the D-backs are down 13-2, and so you're like, well, they're not going to come back, so why would I stay? But with this rule, with you win by inning, so whoever scores the most runs in an inning gets the point for that inning. It makes the game so much more exciting because the ninth inning means so much, right? And so because that's when the runs are equal to points, and so you're always in the game.
Yeah, and to that point, I think there's around, it's like 10 or so rules that make Banana Ball different from baseball, and we'll go over those in a separate podcast or a separate video at some point, kind of detailing all of those. But each one makes the game move faster, and it makes the game better for fans. And so it's a really, really cool experience. But we'll break those down as we keep going.
Yeah, I love them. I've tried to sit down and force myself to be a baseball fan, but ever since Brandon introduced me to banana ball, I don't know if I'll ever go back.
We may go back at some point, but
definitely still fun.
It's fun to go every once in a while. But like when the Bananas come to Arizona, I'm there, 100%. So, and I guess that leads into a little bit of getting the tickets. So it's a crazy experience, even just trying to get the tickets. The demand is so high, they sell out every game, and they're traveling across the United States to all these different stadiums, MLB stadiums. And so we were able to sign up for the list and get on the lottery that comes around. Sammy fortunately got in it, which was really nice.
It was a little stressful. I had to stop what I was doing at work and try to get on really quick, but we got it, and we got some good seats right along the first base line. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then we had one of our cousins got a couple more, so we were able to bring a couple of us there. It was a lot of fun. I actually got the email, and then they had all sold out before my time slot had come up. So it's just crazy difficult to get the tickets. We were so lucky to have them, and hopefully we'll be able to try to figure it out again for next year.
Yeah, honestly, I was shocked at the demand, right? Like Sloan Park, it's where they play spring training ball, right? And so it's not the biggest stadium, but it's still pretty big. And people go to see spring training games there, and so for it to sell out, what was it, maybe like 4 hours into them selling, right?
Easy,
it was by noon that you couldn't get it, and so I don't know when the first time slot was, but it sold out so fast, and so the demand is there, and people love banana ball,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And we'll talk about it more in future podcasts as well, but like they've got some really cool stuff coming down the line. They're going to be playing in football fields this year. They've already sold out, I think, 2 or 3 of the football stadiums that are going to happen 3 months down the line. Like, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's incredible to sell out a football stadium. Really cool.
Yeah. And I guess, that leans into how I actually found out about banana ball. So I'd heard about the Savannah Bananas a couple times, but I hadn't ever really looked into them. I didn't really understand exactly what people were saying. But then I decided to look them up. I found a video, and one of the first videos I saw was the 2025 World Tour Draft. And that was really awesome, seeing all the players announce the stadiums they were going to, and Jesse Cole, the owner, announcing that they were bringing in a new team. And then that really helped me understand, okay, this is competitive. Like, this is something where they're doing all these fun things, but at the end of the day, they're competitive guys that want to win the game. And so that's what really drew me into banana ball, is the fact that it's a real game that you watch.
Yeah, and you can tell that the players, they want to have fun, they want everyone to have a good time, but they want to win too. Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that kind of showed that in the game that we went to was one of the rules, right, is if a fan catches a foul ball in it goes into the stands and a fan catches it, then it's an out. And so we witnessed that, and you could tell how much it meant to the players that that this fan saved an inning for them. I don't know if you want to tell that story. And
I mean, so Sammy and I were in the same area, but Sammy was a row in front of me, and I was sitting there, and I was actually eating some popcorn at the time, and the bat hits the ball, and I'm like, this is coming right here. So throw down the popcorn, pick up my glove, and then everybody in the section stands up, and we're all just waiting, and then the guy 2 seats over from me, bare hand, left hand up, just bare hands it.
It's amazing.
And it was so cool. So everyone just goes crazy. It's actually on both of us. You can see us in the video of the game as they pan the camera over there. But it was just so cool. And like Sammy said, it was the party animals, unfortunately. And so,
yeah, well, that begs the question: would you have just batted it down if it came to you, or were you going to catch it?
In that moment, I was totally going to catch it.
Yeah, then maybe our roles would be flipped here.
I might have been. But yeah, so like the party animals came out, they welcomed the fan onto the field, and then they were shouting, celebrating with him, and then they brought the party animals sideline reporter Drake Toll, and he interviewed him, and it was really funny.
Yeah, so awesome. That's something you definitely don't see in professional sports. What fans do does not matter. And so it's awesome to interact with the fans like that.
And the funniest part of that story is what happened later. So after the game, we go and my wife and I ended up getting in the Party Animals merch line because we wanted to get Sammy a hat.
It was very nice. It was my birthday. That's why. Yeah.
And so we wanted to give him a birthday present. And so we got in line. And then as we're standing there, we see this guy walk away from the desk. And it was the guy that caught the foul ball. He was a Savannah Bananas fan. He was so sad when he realized he got the out for them. And then he had a Party Animal shirt in his hand as he was walking out. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's how you make lifelong fans, right? People have experiences like this, and then all of a sudden, oh, I guess I'm a Party Animals fan now, right? So it's cool to have that fan engagement. So that's really how you create those lifelong fans, those relationships that aren't gonna end.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing is right now they have 4 teams. So they're doing that with all of the different teams. And then next year they're going to get up to 6 teams, they said, and they're going to start the Banana Ball Championship League. And so it's just going to grow and grow. You get fans from all the different teams. And then like for us, the way that they have it, some of it is right now a little bit on geography. So like the Texas Tailgaters are mostly going to play in Texas and some surrounding areas. The FireFighters are mostly in the East Coast. And then Party Animals and Bananas are all over. So like there's going to be fans in Texas that are raving about the Texas Tailgaters, but because they're coming to, like eventually when they come to Arizona, we might end up becoming fans of them, whereas I'm probably never going to root for the Texas Rangers in the MLB. I have no reason to.
Yeah.
And so it's super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome how they're doing that, and it's just going to the reach is gonna keep growing, and more people are gonna find out about them. More games, more teams, and soon everyone's gonna be a Banana Ball fan.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
And then so with this game in particular, like Sammy mentioned, you only score a point per inning. So even though the Party Animals were just scoring run after run, multiple runs per inning.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
It was awful. They ended up being at the end of the 8th inning, it was 4-2. Party Animals were up. And how the scoring works is in the 9th inning, every point that is scored counts. So the Bananas were the home team. The Party Animals scored 2 more points, taking it 6-2. And then the Bananas were up. And I look on the field and I see a Party Animals pitcher wearing his signature bandana. I knew it was Drew Gillespie. And my heart sank. And I was like, I think we just lost this game.
Yeah, and they did.
And they did. Drew Gillespie is a fantastic pitcher.
Yeah, it was awesome. The Bananas did put up a fight.
Yeah.
But ultimately the Party Animals came out on top, and I became a lifelong fan. So it was great to see.
Yeah, lots of fun. But yeah, just going into a little bit about our backgrounds as well. So I played Little League from T-ball up until probably I was around 12. Had so much fun. It was a lot of fun playing the game, getting to steal the bases. Got to play in the Little League's like all-star game and didn't go much further than that. But baseball was a really fun game to play. But that's kind of my background on it for now.
I didn't realize I was sitting with a Little League All-Star. Wow.
Hey, we didn't win.
Okay. I don't know if I'm worthy to have this podcast with you.
Can I tell you a story of what happened on the All-Star game?
Oh, please.
So I was in the outfield, and I think I was in left field, and so I was running. The ball got hit, and it's straight to the center fielder. And I'm looking at it, and he sees me coming, and so he kind of moves out of the way, even though it was his. And it was like so far out of reach. I dive to try to catch it, and lands in my glove. I hit the ground, and it falls out.
Oh boy!
I was so sad.
Well, you were just trying out for the Bananas right there, right?
Exactly.
It was in your blood. Yeah, it's like, no, I got to make this look as cool as possible.
And it actually ended up being cool because then the guy didn't stop at first. He saw me drop the ball, ran to second. Center fielder picked it up and threw him out at second.
Perfect.
So we got the out.
It all worked out. It's just like you drew it up, right?
Exactly. And that was the end of my baseball career.
Awesome. Well, I didn't even make it past T-ball. So I was not a Little League All-Star. I'll tell you why I didn't make it past T-ball. This was a traumatizing experience for me.
Oh no.
I was in the outfield. The ball never goes into the outfield in T-ball, obviously. And so the kid playing shortstop had to go to the bathroom. And so the coach said, "Hey, Sammy, go up to shortstop." We don't have anyone in the outfield. It doesn't really matter. So go to shortstop, and I'm there. I don't remember the ball ever getting hit close to me or anything. What I do remember is looking over in the kid's back. He's finished going to the bathroom. And boy, is he mad. He's so mad that I took his spot at shortstop. And he winds up and he punches me right in the gut.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all. I fall to the ground, the wind's knocked out of me, I'm sobbing. The kid gets in trouble, so he's sobbing, it ruins the whole game. And so yeah, I kind of hated baseball after that. Just such a rough experience, but banana ball's bringing me back.
Been a healing experience for you?
Yeah, it's been a very, very healing experience. It's wonderful.
Perfect. Well, I think that's most of opening night.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, then to let you know a little bit of where we want this to go from here is we want to have a podcast where we're breaking down the games, letting you know what happened, talking about some cool plays that happened, and we want to be able to hear from you as well. So whatever platform you're watching this on or listening on, we want to hear from you, hear your experiences, hear what you want to hear about and what you maybe don't want to hear about.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. We want to be fans first, just like Banana Ball is, right? And so we want to hear your feedback, and so follow us on all the social media stuff. Got to plug that. Follow us on X and Instagram, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, and one thing we wanted to plug for the next podcast, this weekend actually, they had 3 games in Florida. And one of the rules for Banana Ball is if it's tied at the end of 9 innings, their tiebreaker is called a showdown. We'll go into that in another podcast, but basically it's just this really intense...
One of the best overtimes in sports, honestly. It's up there with, I love college football overtime. It's up there with that, giving each team the chance to score and in different situations. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it actually happened all 3 games in Florida this weekend. So it was just time after time they got these crazy endings, and that's what makes Banana Ball fun. So we'll be talking about that on the next podcast, and we'll probably just do it on a monthly basis and talk about all of the games for a month and talk about all the cool plays. So we'll be able to break down some more Banana Ball for you guys. But for now, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Go party, animals.
Oh, come on.